Hi everyone, welcome to English for You. I'm Kat.
I'm Elsie.
And today we're talking about an animal. Not just any animal.
What kind of animals?
A very helpful animal.
Oh, what are they?
Well, we're going to talk about beavers.
Beavers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, we're going to talk about why beavers are helpful, but what are some other animals that help us out in our lives, do you think?
I think dogs do.
Yeah, for sure. Dogs are very helpful, especially if they're trained to do special jobs.
Mm-hmm. Or especially when their owners are really lonely, they can accompany them, right?
Yeah, exactly. My cats do that for me too.
My cat does too.
Yay! Cats can also be a good company.
Yeah.
I think dolphins have been known to save people before from sharks.
Oh.
And things like that. Or from drowning. Yeah. So there's different animals that know how to help and, do help us out. But beavers sort of help us in a different way. They're not superheroes coming in to rescue us with a cape, but they help out nature and they help out a lot of different animals, including us.
So we're going to learn about them in today's article.
Let's take a look.
Reading.
Beavers, nature's little helpers. Beavers are hard-working animals that perform an important role in the wild. They live in lakes and rivers, and in these, they construct lodges and dams. Both protect beavers from larger animals, but they also change the local environment for the better. Dams block rivers and turn them into ponds. The wood and plants they use for the dams clean the water and make the soil richer. This in turn results in an increase in the number of plants that grow on the banks. The land around the ponds also becomes wetlands. Wetlands provide food sources and living spaces for all kinds of other animals, especially birds and fish. Studies have investigated other ways in which beavers can help the environment. Some show they help clean the water they live in. Others demonstrate that beaver ponds store carbon dioxide and remove it from the air. This can slow climate change. The ponds also act as natural barriers to forest fires and stop them from spreading. This reduces air pollution as well as saving human and animal lives.
All right, our article starts out today. Let's get right into it. Beavers are hard-working animals that perform an important role in the wild.
今天课文呢，一开始说到河狸们呢是在野外扮演重要角色的勤劳动物。那我们看到了冠带 that 带出形容词子句 that perform an important role in the wild。这个形容词子句呢，用来形容先行词 hardworking animals， 也就是这一群勤劳的动物们，河狸 beavers。
Yeah, so beavers work hard. I think everybody knows they can cut trees down with their teeth. Yeah, they have really, really tough teeth for that. Their teeth are actually orange because they have extra iron in them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why their teeth are so tough and they can actually chew through wood. Yeah.
So their teeth are not dirty.
No, it's not because they're dirty. It's because they have metal in them. Yeah, so the article says they live in lakes and rivers. Of course they do. And in these, they construct lodges and dams. Okay, so we have our first vocabulary word here, construct. To construct something means to build something, usually from parts. We talk about construction with things like buildings or bridges or something with blocks or bricks. Like when you were little, you might make things out of toys and Legos. You are constructing towers, maybe houses, things like that. You might also know the noun construction, which is what happens when buildings and roads are being worked on, are being made. We usually say it for things being built, not things like clothes or art, unless the art is a construction like a statue or something. Yeah, so now for an example sentence for construct. The city is constructing a new house for the mayor to live in.
Construct 这个动词呢，代表建造、构筑。那实体的东西呢，我们可以在后面加上，像是 a house, construct a house， 建造一间房子 ；construct a building， 建造一栋建筑物，或者是 construct a road， 建造一条路。那比较抽象的，我们可以在后面加上，像是a sentence. Construct a sentence 代表就是你建构出一个句子。 就是你在做造句的动作，还有像是 construct an argument 建构一个论点。
So you can use it for anything that you need to build through pieces and careful thinking. All right, and then we also have this other word in here, which is a dam. Dam is a noun that means a large kind of structure. Usually it's like a wall that's placed in a river and it stops the water from flowing. So humans make dams too. I think the biggest dam in the world is probably on the Yangtze River, isn't it, in China? And it's really, really big. It's so big that like you need an entire village of people to work on it. And it stops this big river from flowing. It can let the water out or it can, keep the water up above it. So when you have a dam, the river can't keep going and it starts to build up and it makes a lake above the dam. Now, this can flood cities, so when a dam is built, a lot of people might need to get moved, and maybe plants and animals might get covered up by the water. The animals will probably move out of the way. They'll be like, oh no! But a lot of things get buried or drowned by the water that gets caused by dams. However, they're important because they help us make electricity by controlling the water. It's called hydroelectricity. And beaver dams are important for a different reason. They don't make electricity, but they do help in a different way. So an example sentence, China built a big dam in this area so it could use the river to get more power. Now we have this other thing, which is a lodge.
A lodge?
Yeah, and humans make lodges too. So, humans make dams and lodges, beavers make dams and lodges. I think we're kind of, modeling our dams and lodges after theirs. A lodge is a beaver's home, and they usually would make a lodge near or in the same place as the dams they're building. So, yeah, a lodge would be where a beaver and their family live.
OK， 所以刚刚 Kat 一连解释了很多的字，很多的用法，那我们一一来看哦。像是 construct lodges， 回到课文上，我们看到 construct 后面加 lodges， 那代表就是建造巢穴。construct dams 建造水坝。那课文说的是呢，河狸们住在湖和河里，在这些地方啊，他们会建造巢穴和水坝。
So what are the purposes of these dams and lodges? Both protect beavers from larger animals.But they also change the local environment for the better. So we have this phrase, for the better, which we're going to talk about right now. So we saw the phrase for the better when we were talking about how beaver dams change things. When something changes for the better, it means that the change is a good thing, and it only brings positive results. The opposite can be true too, so you can say things change for the worse. That means they only bring negative results.However, we also have a similar phrase which has a little bit different meaning. We could say something is for the best, which doesn't mean it's necessarily positive. It means it's a hard decision to make and you don't want to do it, but it's important because it will stop more bad things from happening. For example, if you are an adult fighting with your parents all the time, it might be for the best that you move out and keep peace between you.
那在课文当中呢，我们还看到一个字叫做 both， 这边的 both 指的是 lodges and dams that beavers construct，也就是河狸们他们建造的巢穴和水坝。他们不但可以保护河狸们免于大型动物的侵扰，也可以使当地的环境改善。所以我们看到了这个片语，刚 Kat 有解释过的 for the better 代表好转改善。再给同学们一个例句哦 The teacher has changed the way he teaches for the better. He hopes his students can enjoy his classes more. 代表的是呢，那个老师改变他的教学方式，把教学方式变得更好，希望学生们可以享受他的课程更多。那相反的，如果是变得更糟，那我们会说 for the worse.So
we're talking about things that are changing for the better. So how do they do this? Well, for one thing, dams block rivers and turn them into ponds. So human dams are usually much, much bigger and they can turn rivers into lakes, which are way big. But beaver dams are smaller and they turn river sections into ponds.And ponds are nice for different reasons.
Right. 所以水坝呢，它阻挡河流，那就会形成一个区域，让河流变成池塘。
So why is this good? Well, the wood and plants they use for the dams clean the water and make the soil richer.
Okay. So a lot of good parts, right?
Yeah.
河狸们呢，它用来建造水坝的木头和植物呢，可以让河水变得干净，也可以让土壤变得更肥沃。
So we get richer soil, which means plants can grow better, and clean water, which is very good. This in turn results in an increase in the number of plants that grow on the banks. Yay, more plants. Yeah, so we have in turn. This phrase is kind of an interesting one that we will use in a longer sentence or a longer thought. It means because A happened, B happened in turn. So one result causes the next result. For example, I studied hard and got better grades this year. In turn, I started feeling better about myself. So the result was I got better grades, and then there was another result. I started feeling better about myself. So this results in something. Now, results are what happened because of an action. Now, since the beavers help the soil, this helps more plants grow. In other words, it results in more plants growing. Now, we have to use a noun phrase after results in. So plants growing or results in more plants, results in an increase in plants, which we'll talk about later.
OK， 那我们现在先来看看 in turn 这个片语哦，它可以用来带出后面导致的结果，像是 He's been absent from work for 5 days and his boss wants to fire him, which in turn makes him not want to return to work. 所以一个接着一个，一个导致一个事情的发生，那我们就可以用 in turn 来带出。再来一个是 result in， 它是一个介系词片语，也是解释为导致或是结果造成。不过呢 result in 我们刚刚说介系词片语，所以后面你只能加上名词或是 VING. So for example, the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in one of the most severe economic crises in a long time. 它造成了其中一个最严重的经济危机。
Yeah, so and we have this other word for increase. So we were talking about it resulted in an increase in plant life. So what does that mean? Let's go find out. When we talk about an increase, this is a noun that means a rise in something or something becoming or getting more or bigger. Now, an increase in the number of plants on the banks of a river means there are more plants there than before. We can also use increase as a verb in which we would say increase. When you say the noun, you would say an increase, but when you say the verb, you say to increase. So just like we can say there's an increase in the number of plants, we can say the number of plants increases. So an example sentence for increase, the country had an increase in the number of foreign students studying in its universities last year.
Increase 它是一个名词，代表数量或尺寸的增加或是增长。那刚刚 Kat 有提到的是，如果它当动词用也是可以的，不过声音要变成 increase。那相反的，如果是下降减少，名词我们念作 decrease， 那如果是动词的话，我们念作 decrease。那课文这边说到啊 ，this 也就是河水更干净、土壤更肥沃这件事呢，可以让河岸上的植物数量变更多。
So there are some positive results that come from them building dams. They enrich the soil, which makes more plants. They clean the water, all sorts of things. And there's more. The article says the land around the ponds also becomes wetlands. Wetlands are an area that's very swampy, which means it's like the water's like doesn't look clean. It's full of different kinds of little animals you can't see and algae and stuff like that, but has lots and lots of different kinds of natural life. So it's very important for different reasons. Did you know that wetlands keep the coast of oceans and ponds in good shape? They prevent erosion and they balance the nature around it. And they provide a home for a lot of different kinds of animals and plants.
所以池塘周围呢，它变成湿地。我们刚刚说的 wetlands， 它就是湿地的意思。
So what do wetlands do? Wetlands provide food sources and living spaces for all kinds of other animals, especially birds and fish.
所以湿地呢，还有一个好处就是它可以提供食物来源和居住的空间给其他各种各类的动物们，所以不只给河狸，还给其他的动物，特别是 birds and fish 鸟类和鱼群。
So that's actually why wetlands are some of the areas that we want to protect the most in nature, like even more than some other kinds of ecosystems. Wetlands are very important. So the article says, studies have investigated other ways in which beavers can help the environment. Now we have this word here, investigate. To investigate something, which is a verb, means to look for detailed information on something or try and solve an unknown thing about it. So police, for example, have to investigate every crime so they can find out who did it, how to stop it from happening again. Scientific studies, scientists investigate questions about the world or about certain things people want to learn how to do. Journalists and reporters also investigate stories for the news. There's lots of different jobs in which you will investigate things. It's kind of like doing research, but you're finding out the new things that nobody might know. So, an example sentence, for my report, I'm investigating what people at our school think of the new rules.
Investigate 这个动词呢，代表调查。那研究调查了其他合理能够帮助环境的方式。So there are more that beavers can do for the environment. And what do the studies show?
Well, the article says some show they help clean the water they live in, which we already learned about the dams. Others demonstrate that beaver ponds store carbon dioxide and remove it from the air. Oh, this is very important, but first let's learn about the word demonstrate. Demonstrate means to show something in a clear way. It's kind of just a more formal way of saying to show. It also is where the word demo comes from, if you've ever seen like a demo of a game or something like that. It's short for demonstration or demonstrate. Now, carbon dioxide, which is this gas that we're talking about here, which it stores, is CO2. The gas we breathe out of our lungs, but too much of it in the air hurts our planet, and that's what's causing global warming. So removing it is good. And we want more carbon dioxide to be out of the atmosphere, so if it's in some other place, that's a good thing.
今天的英文练功房呢，要说到复数不定代名词的比较。那第一种要给同学们的是呢，若在不限定的范围状况下，你将一个群体分为两个部分，其中的一些呢，我们会用 some 来带出，剩下的另外一些我们就用 others 来表示。For example, some cats are really close to their human owners, while others seem very indifferent. 有一些猫它很亲人，那其他的呢，则是很冷漠。这边的 others 你也可以用 some 来代换。那如果你把群体分为三个部分，我们就要说 some, others, 最后用 still others 来带出。For example, some people work out for losing weight. Others work out for building muscles, and still others work out for releasing stress. 有些人运动为了减重，有些人运动为了锻炼肌肉，其他人运动则是为了释放压力。那注意哦，如果你要把这些字放在一个句子当中，前后用逗号连接，最后 still others 还要再加上连接词 and 在前方。那第二种，如果是限定范围，群体为两个部分的时候呢，其中的一些我们用 some of 带出，剩下的一些我们就用 the others， 前面要加上定冠词 the, the others。 For example， 像刚才呢，我们用了猫来当无限定范围的例句，对不对？那我们现在来看哦，如果是有限定范围的要怎么用？ Our neighbor has 6 cats. Some of them like to sleep by their owner, while the others like to sleep alone. 这边我限定范围，这个邻居呢，他有6只猫，在这些猫当中啊，有一些喜欢睡在主人旁边，有一些喜欢自己睡。那这里的 the others 你不能用 some 来代换，如果要换字的话，你可以改成 the rest。那如果有3个部分，我们就用 some of, others， 最后the others 带出。For example, there are 30 students in the classroom. Some of them are studying, others are sleeping, and the others are using their phones. 那在放在一个句子当中的时候呢，最后一样 and 加出来，再加上 the others。那课文刚刚还有一个字 Kat 有解释过，是 demonstrate。 这个动词呢，就是比较正式的 show， 显示表明。那有些研究结果显示呢，河狸们能够帮助清洁他们所居住的水域，其他则是显示呢，有河狸在的池塘可以帮助储存 carbon dioxide， 也就是二氧化碳，还可以 remove it from the air。
Yay, and to remove something means to take something out of or to get rid of something. If you remove your papers from your bag, you take them out. Removing carbon dioxide from the air means it's not in the air anymore, it's somewhere else like the ocean, ground, animals, or machines that take it out of the air. So that's what removing it means. Now, for an example sentence, you could say, I removed my winter clothes from my closet and put them under my bed until it got cold again. I think a lot of people do that.
所以 remove 是移除 ，remove A from B， 从 B 这个位置移除 A 这项东西。
So what's good about removing CO2 or carbon dioxide from the air? This can slow climate change.
这样一来呢，可以减缓气候变迁。
Yeah, so we want that to happen. That means it's helping everybody, including us. The ponds also act as natural barriers to forest fires and stop them from spreading.
Barriers 代表的是屏障，所以池塘呢也可以作为森林大火的天然屏障，能够防止火势蔓延出去。
Yeah, because forest fires, sometimes you can't stop them, because they will be a seasonal thing depending on where you live. But a pond can help them to not spread more. So the article says this reduces air pollution as well as saving human and animal lives. So pollution is something that we ought to be concerned about too. Pollution is a noun that means like the chemicals, smoke, carbon dioxide, trash, and other dirty things that make our environment unhealthy. When we pollute the natural world, it makes life harder for everything, including ourselves, plants, other animals, and so on. There are many kinds of pollution. Water pollution and air pollution are two, but there's also light pollution, which is when you can't see the stars at night because of the city lights, and noise pollution, which is when noise makes it hard to live. Anything we put into the environment that makes it unhealthy or interrupts nature is considered pollution. So an example sentence might be, the pollution in this river has made it unsafe to drink from or swim in.
Pollution 这个名词呢是污染，那搭配的字有像是 air pollution 空气污染 water pollution 水污染 noise pollution 噪音污染，还有就是刚 Kat 提到的 light pollution 光害。那这边呢还看到 this 这个字，它代表的是池塘可以作为森林大火的天然屏障，并能防止火势蔓延这件事。这件事呢可以减少空气污染，也可以拯救人类和动物的生命。So beavers are really good for our environment.
Yeah, and we're actually going to learn more about how they can help us tomorrow. But for today, that's all the time we've got. So we're going to go right to our For You chat.
For You chat.
All right, so our For You chat question for today. Can you think of any other animals that help the environment in some way? What do they do?
I think bees do help the environment, right? Because they pollinate plants.
Many different kinds of plants. There are many kinds of plants that we would not have if it weren't for bees.
Right. So we have so many different kinds of flowers and fruits. Also, we have food to eat because of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So without bees, I think we wouldn't have like apples, avocados, lots of different kinds of fruits that need their flowers to be pollinated. Think of almost any kind of flowering fruit. Probably bees help you eat it. Yeah. So that's one answer. You guys can probably think of a lot more. Now, we are out of time, but we will see you tomorrow for another discussion on how beavers can help us. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Construct. A new supermarket will be constructed in the town so people can buy many more things from several different places. Dam. The government built a dam to control the direction of the river near this town. Increase. Every winter, there is an increase in people getting sick, which is due to the colder weather. Investigate. The fire department is still investigating what caused the building to burn down. Remove. Thomas tried to remove the oil he spilled on his shirt, but it wouldn't come off. Pollution. The president has promised to lower pollution by stopping most cars from driving in city centers.
智慧小补帖
Lodge. Demonstrate. Carbon dioxide. Barrier.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。 如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net